We have Kayla Calabrese, a nice New Jersey girl, on board with us. She had the opportunity to call in real quickly, and hey, we're going to talk to her for a few minutes. This is a down-to-earth artist. She's got a sassy edge to her, and her music is just downright awesome, and we're going to talk to her, and hopefully she's still there. Kayla, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Yay! Awesome. Well, first off, I want to thank you for taking time, and I know it was kind of like a little impromptu thing, but I appreciate you taking the time and give us a call today on the Wall to Wall Country Show.
No problem at all. I'm glad to call in.
Awesome. Well, for a little information, Kayla, about what we are, this is a country show and an internet radio station, Penn's Peak Radio, out of Pennsylvania, the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, which isn't very far from where you hail from, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But
Okay.
yeah, and maybe you could actually swing by the station sometime. But
I want to.
yeah, because we're not that far from you. Anyway, but the whole show is featured around country artists. Any country artists going all the way back into the 30s, all the way up to the newest, latest, greatest, youngest, whatever we got. And thanks to Dawn over at Core PR, apparently she got a hold of you. And the whole show is recorded, by the way, and will air back on Sunday morning. So you can maybe we'll get some contact information. You can Facebook us, you can tweet it, and let everybody know about the interview. If they've missed it today, they can catch it on Sunday. But with all that said, Kayla, I mentioned that you are from New Jersey. You're a Jersey girl, and you are doing country music and hanging out down in Nashville. But why don't you tell my listening audience a little bit about where you do hail from and how you got into the country music industry, my dear?
Sure. I'm originally from Pine Beach, New Jersey, so kind of near the shore,
Okay.
to be honest. But I actually went to the Poconos a lot growing up. We used to go skiing all the time.
Okay.
So kind of crazy. But, yeah, so I grew up, and I honestly did not start singing until I was around 17. So growing up, I did not think country was cool, to be honest. Everyone listened to, like, Eminem, and, you know, I was an NSYNC and Backstreet Boys girl, so I did not really listen to country that much, but my dad did, so I have to thank him for the country influence. He used to drive the big 18-wheeler truck, so he would always be listening to country.
Uh-huh.
And I frequently asked him what he was thinking, but thankfully, when I started singing, I just kind of always gravitated towards country because I like to write and things like that. So,
Nice.
yeah, country music has just kind of been where it led ever since I started singing.
Now, you started out, like you said, a little bit later, but how did you get to where you made the move? You are living in Nashville now?
I am, yes.
Okay, and how did the move to Nashville come about and getting hooked up with your producer?
Oh, well, that's a funny story, actually. I came to Nashville kind of really, really suddenly. I was like, I need to go down to Nashville. I knew I had to do it when I started singing, but I didn't know really how to get there, so I decided that school would be a good option. So that way my parents didn't completely freak out.
Okay.
So I went to, I'm actually a nurse as well, so I went to nursing school, so that way they didn't, you know, I went to Belmont. So it's a music school, but I went for nursing.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I moved to Nashville in August of 2010, and I haven't left since. And so I went to school so they would not freak out, and then I kind of did the music thing at the same time. And the way I got hooked up with my previous producer was Kent Wells, and I just called him one day. Like, I found his number. I think I Googled him.
Wow.
Yeah, so I called, and his assistant answered the phone, and she, you know, asked who I was and what I was calling about, and I just said that I wanted the opportunity to work with him, and she's like, well, sweetheart, it doesn't really work that way, but, you know, just send us some stuff, and then we'll keep in touch. So then I sent her some things, and then she called me back. I went in and got to work with him. So, yeah.
Nice, nice. And due to that, you ended up producing a very first EP and got some music out there, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And it was your first single was called "Kiss Me."
Yep, it absolutely was.
Okay, and we're looking forward to hearing some of your music. But we talked about playing your latest single, which is "Whisper." You want to tell us a little bit about that? Now, are you writing all your music, Kayla?
I did not write Whisper, but I do write a lot of my own music.
Okay.
So, the current EP that is not out yet, I got to work with an awesome guy, Jimmy Nichols, and he kind of works with, Carrie Underwood and Sarah Evans, and he gets to work with a lot of those awesome artists who are huge influences of mine. So it was kind of a dream to get to work with him.
Okay.
And he kind of took me in a whole different route in terms of what I thought I could do and what I thought I couldn't do, and I got to write. And I also got to get songs pitched to me, which was kind of weird. I walked into a room, and I was late, of course, because I'm always late, and there were just like all of these people sitting around a table just staring at me, like just ready to let me listen to their artist songs. So that was a cool experience and a cool process, and I got to kind of go home, and I went back to New Jersey and kind of listened to all of these songs and picked out which ones I thought were good for me and good fits for me. So Whisper was one of those, and Whisper was one of those songs where as soon as I heard it, I knew it was special, and I knew that I had to record it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big emotional ballad, and it just has a really good story, and I feel like a lot of people can resonate with it. So, yeah.
Nice. And so when you're down there, are you putting what's some things that you're working on? Are you working on a tour? Are you working on? And you mentioned about some new music. What's some of the top things on Kayla's list that you're working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on finishing up this EP, and I had a couple photo shoots not that long ago, so kind of just wrapping up that whole process of it. But the music is complete and done, and it should be out soon.
Okay.
I have a new single that's coming out in less than a week, I think, and it's going to be called "Give," and I'm super excited about that song.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a lot going on right now.
Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, why don't we go ahead and play one of your tunes and give our listening audience a little feel for who you are and where you come from. I know, and even though you didn't write the song, but if it's something that means that much to you that you're like, I need to do this one. Let's get this one out there a little bit. So, if you would be so kind, why don't you go ahead and introduce your song, Kayla? That's a very powerful song, and I love it. 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 That's a really great song. Oh, my gosh. I think you blew my socks off. I can tell why you picked it. It's a very good song, and I'm thinking, wow, this is like a Sarah Evans song. This is a powerful tune, and you nailed it, man, girlfriend. You nailed it very well. Nicely done. And so you've got a whole EP coming out, and you can find it on iTunes, and that's one of the places that people can look you up and get their hands on some of your music.
Exactly. I have some stuff up there now, but the new project will be out soon, so I can't wait. Awesome.
Now, Kayla, when you kind of got into this industry, maybe a little bit backwards, sort of like you were saying, you weren't really into the genre of country, and you want to thank your dad for that. But when you started shifting into that, is there some artists, whether they're from today or maybe more classic artists or whatever, that kind of like helped persuade you, not maybe in a person-to-person level, but just listening to their music and maybe kind of gave you that little inspiration of something you're like, wow, you know what, maybe I need to go in this direction other than your dad?
Right. Yeah. And that. Yeah. I was always scared to sing. Like, I was not one of those kids that grew up singing, at fairs and things like that. I was not one of those kids at all. I was actually really too scared to tell anybody I wanted to sing. So, just singing in general came. I went to see Wicked on Broadway, and it was the original Broadway cast. It was Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth and all of those people. So I went and I saw it, and as soon as it was over, I was like, you want to know what? I really need to do this. I want to do this. This is what I'm going to do. I turned to my mom and said, Mom, I want voice lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, wow, okay, you're just going through this thing because you just saw the show, and it was amazing. But I just kept bugging her, and I finally, went, and she took me, and it was great, and I haven't stopped since. But so Idina Menzel is a huge influence of mine, even though she's not country, but just because she was kind of the one that I looked up to ever since I started really, really singing. But in terms of country, Martina McBride is just my favorite, one of my favorites. I just love that she is able to have this amazing career and still have a family, and she sings about things that other country artists probably wouldn't sing about just because and just the way she sings. I don't know, just her style. I just love her. Trying to think, Sarah Evans is amazing. I just love kind of her style, how it's not completely the way contemporary country is, but I don't know. I don't want to be compared to anyone, I guess. I want to kind of have my own sound, but I also don't want to be completely, I guess, mainstream to where I'm just like sitting in with, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, it does. It does. I mean, you want to get recognized for your own personal talent and your own kind of style,
Right.
but at the same time, you can't be so far out of the realm that people are like, well, she's too far out there. You want to find your niche. And I think that's a hard thing to do, and I think that's something that you're going to work at, and you might find that niche may change as years goes on. I've talked to many artists, and sometimes it takes years for them to figure exactly where they're going, exactly what they want to do. But you take the steps, and you never kind of give up. You keep moving forward. You take the criticism along with the accolades, and that's what's going to turn you into a fabulous artist at some point.
Exactly. So definitely, those artists I look up to a lot, and obviously Carrie Underwood is huge, and I love her. So. I know. I just kind of, but I also really like Loretta Lynn, and I like going back and listening to classic country and just kind of how personal their songs are, and you can just tell that they 100% mean every word that they're singing. So right. I kind of want to, I have to pay tribute to that too, to artists like that. So
since you've moved,
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, since you've moved to Nashville, and I know it's only been a couple of years since you've been down there, but has there been some kind of interesting, crazy, shocking, kind of blew your socks off type moments that it has been happening to you down there? Has there been some really kind of wow moments for you? Anything that happened in the last couple of years?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even just working with my first producer and with my current, like just seeing how the whole process works. I had no idea how the process works, especially the writing process, and writing a ton of songs and only getting to pick out a few that you like just really like, even though you love a ton of the other ones that you've written, and just kind of having to pick and choose, and going in on tracking day and like watching these songs that you've written or have not written just come to life. And like Nashville musicians completely blow my mind. They went in, they listened to like a verse and a chorus of a song, and then they just go in and play it. Like they just know exactly what to do. And I don't know, it's crazy to me. They're like, they blow my mind. It's how talented, how talented everyone here is. It's not, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just every corner you turn, someone is amazing. So I think that was the thing that kind of blew my mind the most, was that there were so many people here do the same exact thing, and everyone is great. Like everyone is amazing. So I think that was the thing that completely blew my mind. So.
We talked about playing maybe a second song, either off the EP or your single, the other single that you had, that's your featured video here on your website. Is another one that you would like us to play to give people maybe a different side of Kayla Calabrese?
Sure, off the website?
Yep.
Sure, you can do This Is How It Feels. That was my the last single off my old project, so
okay.
Kind of has a different feel to it. And there's kind of a nautical theme about it because I grew up on the beach, so
okay.
There's that one.
Well, if you can you hang in there for a few more minutes?
Sure.
Awesome. Well, listen, we're going to be back more with Kayla Calabrese, New Jersey girl. Most of the artists we speak to aren't quite that close, and it's really awesome to hear, hey, local Northeast PA getting a word in down there in Nashville. So I'm rooting for you already. But we're going to be back with more with her in just a little bit, find out a little bit more about how you can get your hands on her music, how you can track this girl down, and find out more about Kayla. And we're also going to come back with the the single from a project, a video project that you can find on our website at KaylaCalabrese.com. And there's another one for you from Miss Kayla Calabrese, New Jersey girl, born and raised, moved to Nashville, did the big jump, and is doing some great things with producing some music and some really good stuff. And looking forward to you moving forward in this process, Kayla, and maybe some more music. And you know, I had mentioned this to you before, and I wasn't kidding. I mean, if you're ever home in New Jersey and you feel like, you know, you can take a couple of hour drive over to Pennsylvania. We're on the east side between Scranton and Philadelphia, right smack dab in the middle. We'd love to have you in the studios.
Perfect. I would love to come. I will definitely do that.
You know, so kind of keep that in mind when you happen to be home. You know, and what you can do is hang on the phone for just a few minutes after we kind of hang up here, so I can give you some contact information. Of course, Dawn knows how to reach me, but I mean, you're on fire, girl, and I think you're doing some wonderful things. How can people find you, Kayla? Are you doing the social media stuff?
Oh, yeah. I have all of that social media. I have a website. It's just KaylaCalabrese.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I have all of it. Yeah, I do all of it. So.
Okay. And what's one of the best ways that people can track you down? Would it be through your email? I'm looking at your website now, and I don't really see the links for Facebook and all that. Is that something that's going to be put on here?
Yeah. Are they on the? They're not on the bottom, or they should be somewhere. I think.
All right. Well, I'll have to look a little.
Redoing it, but it's there should be on there. But Facebook, I'm on Facebook. You can find me.
Okay.
Twitter at Kayla Calabrese. Also, my Facebook is Kayla Calabrese Music, but you can find me on my personal page and my music page. So, just you can find me wherever.
Awesome. Well, it sounds great, and I really appreciate you giving me a buzz here, and you know, kind of going, oh, I'm doing an interview today. Impromptus are always fun, but you know, you can find her music on iTunes. You can also listen to some of it right there on her website. Read a little bit about this girl, and keep an eye on the website, because I see there are places that they're working on, you know, making a little bit bigger and better, and whatever the case may be. But you know, good luck to you, my girl, and you know,
thanks so much.
Shoot one out there for the Northeast PA people. I mean, you know, Taylor Swift came from here as well, so if you come close to following in her footsteps, I'm sure you'll do wonderfully.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with a little something from Lone Star for you folks. Don't forget, we've got the pickup coming up in just a little while. We're going to take a look at the forecast one more time. But thank you so much, Kayla Calabrese, for joining us on the show today. And remember, the whole thing will re-air on Sunday morning. You can catch everything if you've missed any of her music on Sunday morning, Eastern Time. It starts at 8 a.m., and she'll be in the fourth and final hour of the show. But, Kayla, once again, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, there you go. Miss Kayla Calabrese, hailing from New Jersey.